Welcome. This training series is focused on the Section 8 Management Assessment Program, also known as CMAP, for the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, or HUD. The purpose of this training is to provide an overview of CMAP and key information to help PHAs effectively manage their Housing Choice Voucher program for CMAP success. There are 5 modules in this training, and each module is self-paced and can be started or stopped at any time. This first module is an introduction to CMAP. Module 2 provides an overview of the CMAP indicators. Modules 3 through 5 provide more in-depth discussion of individual indicators grouped by topic. Module 3 covers managing intake, determining eligibility and continued eligibility, and focuses on indicators 1, 13, 3, and 10. Module 4 covers managing leasing and focuses on indicators 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, 13, and 15. And finally, Module 5 covers managing HQS, special purpose vouchers, and VMS, and covers indicators 5, 6, 11, and 12. This module also provides a training summary and key takeaways. Module 1 of this training is focused on an overview of CMAP. Having a solid understanding of CMAP and HUD's expectations for the HCV program will help you understand your goals and develop the strategies within your PHA to achieve high performer status. CMAP serves several purposes. It measures the performance of the PHAs that administer the Housing Choice Voucher program. It assesses whether HCV programs are helping eligible families afford decent rental units at the correct subsidy amount. It is an objective system that measures PHA performance in key areas of the voucher program to ensure program integrity and accountability. It identifies PHA management capabilities and deficiencies in order to target technical assistance more effectively, and it helps PHAs assess and improve their own program operations. PHAs have 60 days after their fiscal year end to submit their CMAP certification in IMS PIC. The table on this slide shows the PHA's due date based on a PHA's fiscal year end. PHAs with 250 or more voucher units must submit a certification every year. Small PHAs with fewer than 250 vouchers and are not considered CMAP troubled are assessed every other fiscal year, unless they elect for annual assessments. If a small PHA submits during a year that is not required, HUD will assess and count the score, even if it is troubled. The CMAP score indicates your PHA's overall rating. The 3 performance ratings are High Performer, Standard, and Troubled. High Performer PHAs are those with CMAP scores of at least 90%. High-performing PHAs receive national recognitions by HUD and may be given competitive advantage under notices of funding availability. Standard-performing PHAs are those with CMAP scores of 60 to 89%. PHAs with a score of 60 to 69% are considered near troubled and may receive additional HUD monitoring and technical assistance. Troubled PHAs are those with CMAP scores of less than 60%. HUD will conduct an on-site review of any agency assigned a troubled rating. While not common, there are instances where HUD may modify or withhold a PHA's overall performance rating. This occurs when there are relevant circumstances warranting this decision. There are 5 CMAP indicators for which a PHA will need to select a quality control sample. There are 3 indicators which require a QC sample from tenant files. These indicators are Indicator 1, selection from the waiting list, Indicator 2, rent reasonableness, Indicator 3, adjusted income. And there are 2 indicators which require a QC sample related to HQS inspections. These indicators are Indicator 5, HQS quality control inspections, and Indicator 6, HQS enforcement. HUD sets the requirements for the sample size for each of these 5 indicators just mentioned. The sample size is based on the universe of the total number of files. Depending on the universe size, you will need to select a particular number of files or records to review. The following slides will describe how to determine the universe. Here is an example of QC sample size for a universe of 150. In this instance, for the first 50 in the universe, the PHA would need to sample 5 files. Then the PHA would include 1 file for each 50 or part of 50. So for the remaining 100 in the universe, the PHA would select 2 files. For a universe of 150, a PHA would need to pull 7 files to sample. Here is one more example. In this instance, the universe is 1090. In this instance, for the first 600 in the universe, the PHA would need to sample 16 files, then one file for each 100 or part of 100 over 600, so 5 files. Thus, for our universe of 1090, a PHA would need to pull 21 files to sample. For Regulation 24 CFR 982B, a PHA's quality control sample means an annual sample of files or records drawn in an unbiased manner. The methodology for selecting the quality control sample must be unbiased, and your file should specifically state your file selection methodology. For example, the sample was pulled using Excel's automated random function or an online random number generator. To pull the quality control sample, one must know the universe for each indicator. Indicator 1's universe is determined by the number of new admissions in the fiscal year. The universe for indicators 2 and 3 is determined by the number of families assisted in the fiscal year. Indicator 5's universe is determined by the number of units assisted in the fiscal year. And the universe for indicator 6 is determined by the number of failed inspections in the fiscal year. There are 4 indicators that are measured directly from IMS PIC and do not require confirmation through file reviews. These indicators are Indicator 9, Timely Annual Reexamination, Indicator 10, Correct Tenant Rent Calculations, Indicator 11, Pre-Contract HQS Inspections, and Indicator 12, Annual HQS Inspections. If a PHA fails to submit its CMAP certification on time, it will be deemed troubled, unless the PHA has a waiver to not submit for a specific fiscal year end, is designated as a small PHA and did not submit a certification. All vouchers in the HCV program are mainstream 5-year vouchers. All vouchers in the HCV program are mod rehab vouchers. PHAs can request a waiver per PIH Notice 2018-16 to submit after the deadline. As part of this request, the PHA must justify the reason for the delayed submission and have supporting documents. This will result in additional HUD involvement, and the PHA will have to work with a PIC coach to ensure submission is completed by the new date. If a PHA receives a 0 in any indicator, it must correct the deficiency within 45 days and send a written report to HUD describing how it corrected the issue. If the PHA cannot correct the deficiency within 45 days, then HUD may require a corrective action plan within 30 days. HUD will perform on-site reviews of PHAs with a troubled rating. In some cases, remote confirmatory reviews may be performed, such as during the COVID-19 pandemic. PHAs must submit a corrective action plan to HUD within 30 calendar days of the letter of the on-site review results. A trouble designation remains until it is formally removed after a final on-site confirmatory review by HUD. As we've discussed, being prepared for your annual CMAP certification is a year-long process. Creating internal best practices around reporting and data gathering will ensure optimal program management and also set your PHA up to be prepared for CMAP submission each and every year. Here on this slide and the next are a few best practices to consider when thinking about data gathering and reporting. These include ensuring accurate monthly submissions. On a monthly basis, review the data that is being collected and submitted. Look for anomalies in the data and perhaps consider including a quality control check. Run reports regularly. Create a system for running and checking reports on a regular basis. At a minimum, it is recommended that reports are run on a monthly basis, but depending on your operations, you may consider running some reporting more frequently. Review trends and reports. Simply running a report once a month is not sufficient. Ensure that your leadership team understands the information being presented in the report, identifies trends in the reports, and gains a deeper understanding of how operational decisions and actions impact trends. Create a core CMAP working group or team who will meet regularly and who is responsible for measuring, monitoring, and improving CMAP performance throughout the fiscal year. Within the group, identify clear roles and responsibilities for individual staff for monitoring performance. and cross-train staff on all aspects of CMAP so they gain an understanding of how their work and responsibilities impact and contribute to the greater whole. Again, PHAs should be checking on CMAP progress throughout the year and preparing in advance. Anticipate the due date of 60 days following the end of the fiscal year and ensure staff are available to gather and complete all supporting information. Once all materials are ready, your CMAP certification is submitted using the form HUD 52648 and utilizing the PIC system. Indicators 1 through 7 are submitted directly through PIC. Indicators 9 through 12, as well as Indicator 14, are submitted through the PIC MTCS module. Indicator 8 is submitted via form HUD 52648. This ends Module 1.